Hey there. So I just want to go real quick over, my initial impressions of the Grant Cardone 10x sales system. Grant Cardone came out. I don't know if you're aware of this in the marketing, online marketing, and business growth space. Grant Cardone is obviously a big player in our industry. And so recently he came out with this massive 3-hour mega tutorial on the 10x sales system. And so, I got to watch the replay. I didn't get to catch it live, but I did get to see the replay. And it was mind blowing to say the least. So of course, so now this is a pretty positive review of the system. But I thought I would share with you guys just why I think this is something worth looking into. Now I didn't get into uh, the upgrade part that he talked about, and he really was giving away a lot of value, a lot of stuff. And the main product I think that he pitched was like a 297 product, which is pretty cheap when you consider the fact that the knowledge you're gonna get in the 10x sales system. I mean, you're looking at learning from a billionaire first of all, right? So like, um, I think that's kind of like a no-brainer upsell. And he had a really deft touch as well, where he's gonna literally like give you a 297 credit back, so that you can get anything else in his store. Like you can get something in like the his sales trainings, Cardone University. I don't know how much that is, but I'm sure you could subscribe to that. So there's a lot of value there that you could get just buying the upsell that he was selling, getting your money back in the form of a credit, and then buying some other Grant Cardone courses that you might have in mind to buy. There's a lot of really valuable stuff that Cardone and his team teaches. Um, but coming to the actual 3-hour tutorial, and I mean, you can like check it out on YouTube. I don't know where else it's been posted, but I got it from YouTube. Um, but there's a lot there to unpack. You might not have the time, right, to like sit down for the entire 3-hour thing. Some people did get to get on their live. I think he said in the stream like 80,000 people. I don't know if that was all 80,000. Probably not all 80,000 were live. You know, and if there were, so then I didn't hear quite correctly, but I think there were less than the 80,000 that probably signed up. That's kind of typical. So, like, if you're trying to do like a live webinar, I mean, this is just a lesson for anybody else. If you're trying to do any kind of live event, any kind of big launch, right? That's typical. Not everybody that signs up is gonna turn up. But I think that's kind of where this whole idea of this 10x sales system comes into play as well, because Grant Cardone was literally talking about how he's then going to have his team actually follow up with all those 80,000 people that uh, the fraction of them that didn't get to turn up live, and they're gonna upsell them on some products and follow up and try to deliver that value. So there's a lot there, and just following his story of okay. So for me personally, one of the big kind of like uh, moments where kind of like a light bulb went off in my head just watching what Grant Cardone has done. I mean, it's really a bunch of things. Obviously, I tuned into a lot of the interviews that he's had over the years, and I liked a lot of them. Some of them I didn't like, and I think that's kind of typical. You're not gonna like everything, right? Everything that somebody puts out, you're not gonna like. But I did like a lot of them. But I think the one of the key big things was obviously if you look at the 10x growth conference. First of all, it's pretty wild that you have a business event taking place in a baseball stadium or a football stadium and filling up and selling out the space. Like, that's wild. Okay. um, I don't know if that was really happening in the business space before Grant Cardone decided to really try and, kind of put business events on the map like that. Um, it kind of turned business events, business conferences into like a mini Super Bowl. I mean, I'm a football fan, so obviously, the Super Bowl is like one of my favorite events. I think a business event like this can't come close, but it did in a way the 10x growth conference, especially by filling up a sports stadium and selling it out. It kind of took us into Super Bowl range, and it's kind of cool. And I mean, he's had some heavyweight titans of industry and business. Those so that caught my attention, just watching the growth year on year on that event. And then the other big thing, of course, was watching Grant Cardone in Undercover Billionaire, the reality TV show, kind of build up this uh, what he wanted to be a $10 million business in 90 days. I mean, that's wild. And then you watch him in the actual series, in the actual show, and he actually pulls it off. Of course, he doesn't get there, he gets to 5.5 million. But in 90 days, when the challenge was get to a million, and it was only 10 million because he raised what his own target was gonna be. But for the show, the challenge was get to a million in 90 days, and he did it live on national television. That's wild. Okay, so I mean, so if you're looking for a great sales system to put in your business, I think there's a lot to be said for his 10x sales system, because in this presentation that he did and showing us what's in the system, he literally walked us through the same sales system that he developed and that he personally used to go from $2 million a year in revenue to becoming a billionaire where he is now. And I think his business is probably doing across everything something like 600 million to 1.2 billion dollars in business every year, which is wild. Which is, I mean, these are staggering numbers that you pretty much wouldn't expect from like a type of like a coaching type business or online. um, like you mentioned on the training, right? Like Wall Street has done those kinds of numbers, but for individuals without like VC backing and things like that, I think that's kind of pretty rare. So there's a lot there. So one of the big lessons as well that I would like to just point out is that 10x. I think there's a lot of misconception around it. Like people think that 10x is the end goal. But for one, he says like he's never accomplished any of his 10x goals, because if he said his goal to be like say 100 million, as soon as he got to like 80 million, then he set a new target, because 100 mil probably just wasn't exciting anymore. So to really beat 10x now, he needed to set it to like maybe 200 mil. So he kept moving the goal out. So there's a lot of nuance to the whole 10x system. And if you study his own journey from 2 million to 600 million, that's not 10x. That's literally like 300x. So 10x is really 300x if you study Grant Cardone. Like, so there's a lot of lessons that came out of this training, that I think if you take that to heart, that can also help if you're trying to grow your own business and you're trying to move forward. So there you have it, guys, and that's really my thoughts on Grant Cardone's 10x sales system, and the live training that he did, 3 hour massive. There's a ton of value in there. If you have time, I encourage you to go check it out. And also remember that I have 2 free resources for you. You can grab my free Solopreneur Profits Bootcamp. The link for that is in the description. You can also grab one of the free consulting slots for my subscribers in the More Product Sales Today Brainstorm call. The link for that is also in the description.